Some of you may remember a time when students didn't always have laptops in the college classroom. Some of you too may remember a time when not every student had a tablet, and those have become more and more common these days. Now this tablet is from 2016, but it's not my first. Back in 2009, I had a HP TX 1000 and then the following TX 2000 tablet, which were very early technologies using screen digitizers and stylus. They were not very good, and this was my first significant upgrade since then. Now this tablet is the Surface Pro 4. I got this tablet in 2016, and I've used it since then for grad school classes, for taking handwritten notes, and it did come with an included stylus. But lately I've been noticing that the stylus has been having issues. I've been getting errors with palm rejection, and sometimes the lines would just kind of stop in the middle. It could be the pen. The button inside the pen could be going bad. This is actually the second pen I've had with this tablet. But it could also be the digitizer starting to just get a little worn out. And I thought that this would be a good opportunity to look at what's out there now compared to the more recent technology, one of the newer Surface Pros, what I ended up getting, and talk about how I went down the process of selecting whether to buy used or new. So in this video, I ended up going with an open box from Best Buy, and it was pretty okay experience. I wanted to talk about that in this one. And if you're interested in looking at a Best Buy open box product, I hope you take a look at this video because it should apply to most other things. All right, let's get into it. I believe I spent about $1,200 or $1,300 on this original Surface Pro 4, and that was without the type cover, but it did come with a pen, like I mentioned in the intro. Now, this one has worked pretty well the whole time I've had it. I had a little bit of the flicker gate issue, and if you're not familiar with that, I'll put a link to some of that information here. And Microsoft did end up extending the first-party warranties on these because of that issue, but they didn't say they were going to do anything beyond that. And when I investigated that expanded warranty, they offered me $100 on a trade-in for this laptop. So it was definitely not worth it to do that in my case. The flicker went away. Well, that's so weird. I don't know why I did that, but the flickering just went away. I never saw it again, and the type cover broke. So I'm not sure if it was related to the type cover or the display cable in the screen just having some sensitivity issue. Maybe it had to do with heating, cooling cycles. I'm not sure, but it did eventually go away, and the lines that I had on the bottom of the screen never came back. Your mileage may vary, but Microsoft very likely will not give you very much money on a trade-in. With that said, the reason why they don't give you very much is because the second-hand retail value, so if you buy this from somebody used, that has almost no used value. It's very strange. I don't know why Microsoft Surface products are like that. Maybe they saturate the market a little bit with them and they go to a lot of enterprise solutions. For whatever the reason, they have almost no resale value. So that's why if you tried to trade in, you only get $100 for a trade-in. The bright side of that is you can get one of these used pretty cheap. This is a Surface Pro 8. Now I got this one from Best Buy as an open box, and this was open box satisfactory. Their lowest tier, and from what I can tell, it was a display model. It sat on a desk somewhere and was just turned on. It had 4 battery cycles, but had been plugged in for hundreds of hours. So to me, that means it was probably the display model that was on a shelf in a Best Buy, and people looked at it every once in a while. It looked a little dusty on the back when I got it, but other than that, it actually wasn't too bad. The digitizer was fine, and that's all I really cared about, and there weren't any major scratches on the screen. Now, it may look pretty rough right now, but those are all just fingerprints, and that'll wipe out, and there weren't any major scratches on the camera on the back or on the housing anywhere. It didn't look great when I got it. It was pretty dirty and dusty, and I just think that was because it had been left out for so long, and then it finally got put into a box and then put into open box sale at Best Buy. So your mileage may vary on that. Go take a look if you end up wanting to get a Surface Pro. I got this one from Best Buy for just under $500, and this is the i5 model with 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 128 storage. So getting increase in your performance is going to be a little bit more expensive, but depending on what you're doing with this, you may not even need to do that anyway. I don't think it's worth sacrificing battery life to get an i7 to have, more cores, more performance, because what are you really doing with this kind of device? You're going to take notes, you're going to use a pen and use OneNote or watch YouTube videos. For that kind of stuff, a quad core is 100% more than adequate, and even 8 gigabytes of RAM is pretty fine unless you have a whole lot of Chrome tabs open doing a lot of media processing and stuff all at one time. But for most people, I think 8 gigabytes of RAM is completely fine. Even if your Windows install is using 3, 4, 5 gigabytes, you're probably not going to have an issue with only 8 gigabytes. That said, it's not upgradable, but the one thing that they did do that is an interesting upgrade that the Surface Pro 4 did not have is a solid-state drive upgrade compartment. So you can use a little SIM card removal tool and pop this out, and there's a M.2 slot, an M.2 slot for those little short SSDs that you can put in here. And that's pretty cool because you get expandable storage. So you can buy the really cheap one of these, put your expandable storage in that already has whatever your personal files are or whatever you want to do. Kioxia makes I think a 2 terabyte in that small form factor, and you can get 2 terabytes of storage in this thing. So how does it show up? When you buy it from Best Buy, it'll come in this blue box. It'll say open box of what the device is, and then it'll have some conditions on here. It'll say condition satisfactory, so that was the lowest grade that they had available. So that's why I purchased this one, and it has some comments. So they go through an inspection process in the Geek Squad, I guess. And this one said minor scratches, marks, residue. So there were some sticker residues on it. They put more stickers on it. I think it was just from being handled or sitting in a box. Like I said, it was a little bit dusty, and that's kind of what they give you. Now, when you go to pick it up, they said the chargers don't fit in the box, so they handed me the box, and I wasn't going to get a charger. I asked if it should come with a charger, and the person at the counter walked back to the Geek Squad, and they said, yes, it should come with the charger. So if they give it to you and it doesn't come with the charger, go ask and see if you should have one. In my case, they gave me a brand new charger right out of the box, included with it, but your mileage may vary. I had to go ask for it because they said it didn't fit in the box. With that said, I also got the keyboard too. So this is the signature keyboard for the Slim Pen, and the only one available that I got was this excellent condition one, and it was marked down about 25% off normal price. I think these are normally $229, and I think I got it for $160, $170, something like that. It came with the stylus, the Slim Pen, and the keyboard, which is pretty nice. And when I looked at this, the packaging looked like it had clearly been opened, but the comments said, condition excellent, comments no damage. And when I looked inside, it looked like nobody had used it before. My guess, somebody returned it after buying it for a Surface Pro 4, 5, 6, or 7. One of the devices that it actually isn't keyed to be compatible with, and it just didn't work, so they returned it. Sometimes you can get lucky if you get something like that. What I've been told and what I've read on the comments is a lot of times some of these products at Best Buy will get returned and have basically nothing wrong with them, but they can't do anything about it. People sometimes buy them and do their review or something, and then they return it and get their money back and then post a review. And a lot of times there's products that they just can't sell as new but are basically new. That'll be new, open box, excellent condition. So keep an eye out. I actually had a pretty good experience, and from the research that I did looking at Best Buy, you can get a lot of products from them. You'll have to pay tax still, unlike if you were to go on Craigslist or something, but if you go to Best Buy, you might be able to find a good deal, and I would not be afraid of their satisfactory products. They do have a 14-day normal warranty, so you could bring it back, return it if there's any issues at all. And the nice thing about that is if you do an exchange instead of a return, a lot of times they'll just replace it with a brand new one. That's what I've heard. I wouldn't take advantage of that so they don't stop doing it, but if you have dead pixels or some significant damage that isn't listed on the comments, I would say that's grounds to return it and get an exchange. If you just want to return it because it has more damage than you would like, then I would return it and get your money back. But either way, you seem pretty well protected, and I haven't had an issue returning stuff with Best Buy. So I wanted to talk about that in this video. If you have any experience with Best Buy, their open box products, leave a comment down below and let me know what your experience was. Overall, mine were positive, and I think in the future, getting open box products from places like Best Buy would be a good alternative to buying new, because it reduces the e-waste that we produce, and it makes use of a product that would otherwise just sit on a shelf or go and become e-waste. All right, that's all I have for this one. If you like this kind of content, let me know down in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.